We have Ms. Adinindyah Arya Wisnutama, as well as Ms. Fitria Werdiningsih, both of Perkumpulan Lawe, a social enterprise supporting weavers across Indonesia. Nindya is the co-founder and chairperson of Lawe, while Fitria manages the business's marketing and communications. Nindya and Fitria, allow me to start with both of you. We heard from your video just before that your business, Perkumpulan Lawe, preserves traditional Indonesian craft while empowering women with skills and a source of income. Nindya, perhaps can you elaborate a bit on how your work produces a means of livelihood for traditional Indonesian craft?
Yeah, thank you, Mehdi. Lab actually has two missions, which are conserving Indonesia's traditional handwoven and empowering Indonesian women. So we have three groups of women that we work closely together. First is the weavers. So Lawe try to open their insights, especially how to elaborate and create new and contemporary handwoven design that meets market needs. So we also train how weavers can improve their production quality. So in that way, customer understand that this special handwoven has new design with weaver's own new philosophy and ensure that this piece has high quality of craftsmanship. So we hope that with those efforts, we can improve their livelihood. So second groups is the women artisans.
Printkan, tina handphone, printkan tina handphone barusan.
Yeah, Lawe transforms handwoven cloth into functional finished products. Lawe give trainings to women group on product diversification, and we also encourage them to find market that's suitable with their own capacity and capability. For them that meet Lawe's quality standard, we can invite them for collaboration. And our third group is Lawe's core team. We develop Lawe not merely for the business, but we want to build the people. So that's why we open every opportunity and give support to our team to maximize their growth. That's our efforts, Mehdi.
Thank you, Nindya. Fitria, may I turn this to you just to elaborate a little bit more, because as Nindya has mentioned, and we saw from your video earlier, I've learned throughout the fellowship that Perkumpulan Lawe engages in a lot of activity that supports the communities where you work, but doesn't necessarily always generate revenue. Can you talk a little bit about the activities that address poverty in these communities and don't necessarily generate revenue? How do you incorporate that into your business model?
So to address poverty in various community, we work covers in both our business and program. In business, yes, there's also about how to earn the income generated from that. So by the business addressing by giving job to our artisans so they can earn from this. So why we are doing this more on diversifying and ready-to-use item like bags, pouches, and all of our product range, and do more on consistency, producing the best seller of it. We also run effort to initiative the channeling new market through digital marketing, initiative creating new product lines annually. But so the more we sell, the more artisan can earn from this. And for Lawe itself, the margin from this business, we used to run the local free class for our urban poor artisan, also for teenagers in the orphanage around Jogja. That's how to make product using the traditional handwoven. And this is how we address poverty through our program. To, as what Nindya already said, we held a lot of trainings for these women. And besides our free class, we also have the trainings that run in a rural area. We run these trainings from Sawah Lunto in West Sumatra, in Palu, Keva Menanu, also for the indigenous people in Kajang and Set Panjang in West Nusa, in West Kalimantan, also in Lombok. Also, we held this training for disabled artisan in Yogyakarta. And besides this, we also run the trainings for the weaver to develop the quality product and new pattern development. So we travel almost all around Indonesia for this mission, for this training, so they can develop themselves and they can meet the market by themselves, and they can learn from what we share. But these programs, mostly we run financially support by the donors and CSR and also government agency. That's from the this is on our business model. So we collaborate with all of these stakeholders, put it in key activities, and also on our revenue stream as the donors coming to finance our program. That's Mary.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fitria. The third pillar of Angels of Impact is really focused on the UN SDG number 12, responsible production and consumption. And kind of up until this point, we've talked about the socioeconomic prosperity of women and women entrepreneurs in ASEAN. But we also know that the future is necessarily looking at the environmental prosperity as well. So perhaps, Fitria, I can turn this question back to you, because I know that you and your team have really paid attention to the environmentalism of the fashion items that you produce at Lawe. Can you possibly share a little bit about how hand-woven fashion products are sustainable and promote sustainable business practices?
Yeah, so very different from what our market now flood with fast fashion and that mass produce and change rapidly. They have so many energy need and waste left. The hand-woven textile is on the opposite, right? The traditional hand-woven textiles produce production processes from this thread spinning to the weave of the textile is not required like fossil energy or electricity, because all done manually, and it also takes a long time to finish just one piece of fabric. Yeah. So sometimes it even took months for one piece of fabric. Then that's one. And the other one is that the traditional hand-woven textile has a very good durability that lasts for years or even decades, and everlasting pattern, because you don't even have to create new pattern like in every month like that, because mostly the pattern contains of story and value and all the history, right? And in our opinion, that by promoting a product-based hand-woven, we promote slow fashion, and this is also will help the environment. And in line with that, how in Lawe we want to reduce the waste of production is we put effort in developing design with zero waste. We put effort on it, and so when we create like a big product like a bags or altar like what I wear now, so the leftover of it is quite big. So we create like new design or new product, small. We use the leftover of the fabric to create smaller product like a keychain or a small doll or like a pattern, like a patchwork on it. So we still use the leftover. This is not a waste. This is also the material. So this is resource. This is not a waste. So we still keep produce new things from what left from the previous product. So, and the very last piece of the smallest cut of the material, we use it for our craft class to introduce the traditional handwoven to children in the kindergarten or in the elementary school. That's what we do in Lawe about how we use the handwoven textile.
Amazing.
That's Maddie.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Fitria, for sharing. Just to maybe contextualize the scale of this problem for all that are watching, I read an alarming statistic recently that the carbon footprint of fast fashion these days, at the rate that it's growing, is actually larger than the carbon footprint of the airline industry and the maritime shipping industry combined. So as the audience has seen, a lot of our community-based enterprises in the ASEAN West Fellowship surround hand-woven textiles and preserving cultural traditions, and we really see this as such an important kind of cornerstone of this socioeconomic empowerment as well as the environmental protection going into the future. Perhaps before we move on from Lawe, Nindya, can I just ask you, because Fitria touched on kind of how long it takes to produce some of these hand-woven products, what are some of the challenges that you see in scaling hand-woven traditions?
Yeah, quite a lot of challenges that we meet in how we scaling sustainable production of handmade industry. Specifically for handwoven, we in Lawe, we see that we need to find specific market. So the needs market that put long-term and sustained order, because we cannot compete in mainstream market, right? And second, from production point of view, we need to provide sustainable production of natural fiber and natural dye. When the demand rise, we cannot harvest the whole natural fiber and natural dye plants. So we need to prepare the replanting, and of course, it needs more time versus the man-made fiber and dye. And the third thing is that hand-woven production nowadays also really depend on the weavers regeneration. As we all know, majority traditional weavers in Indonesia, and I think also in Asia, are seniors weavers. So probably if we can have innovation like traditional hand-woven tools that easily operated, it can attract more youngsters to learn how to weave, and hopefully it can boost to popularize woven as hand woven as doable work, and then that this hand woven has low carbon footprint. So combined with sustainable natural fiber and natural dye planting, hopefully it can attract young generation to involve in this work. That's Mehdi from me.
Thank you, Nindya. Thank you so much.